Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sheree, if you're new here, and thank you for joining us, meaning me and my best friend Shanidra, also known as Nee to Me, for another episode of Nee and Ree. This is episode 3, and this episode, Nee is in charge of the questions and all of the production, what came out of her office. So yeah, this is about to be interesting. But first, we're going to start in with a check-in like we do on every episode. So how are you feeling overall?
I'm just sleepy. That's all.
Was that the same last time?
Probably. And I feel like I hear one of my kids coming downstairs.
But there's nobody downstairs, is it?
No. But I hear somebody on
But somebody's going to be shouting. I mean, well.
You hear him?
Yeah. It's not Brandon?
I told you.
Where's Brandon?
What? Okay.
All right, guys, we are back after putting Caleb back to his nap. But yeah, so she's sleepy. Anything else?
Otherwise, I'm okay. I'm just sleepy. That's all. I need about, give me like a 3-hour nap. I'll be okay. Plus, I got up early this morning, so I'm struggling.
That's
what about
you? I want to be on the couch, but I made a goal this year of trying to get off the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was supposed to go to this happy hour, in a few hours. And
you don't sound happy.
I don't want to go. I want to stay and watch Love at the Lockup on the couch and eat tacos.
That sounds good.
But yeah, so I'm going, and this will be my one outing for January. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good.
It's good.
So yeah, how many topics do we have?
So I have 3.
Okay.
Because that's what you've been doing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to get started with our first topic, which is...
Our first topic is a current event, of which I have no idea, but I know you would know. So everyone's talking about Kevin Hart and his... Is it a special or something?
It's a documentary on, a docu-series, I should say, that his production company did it, which I think when you're doing a docu-series, you need to have somebody from the outside doing it. But his production company, Heartbeat, whatever, did it. And so it was like 10 episodes, or maybe around 7 to 10 episodes, I believe. It just wasn't one big, long film.
Okay.
But he basically, what I got from it is he's a very hard worker. The incident with his wife and him cheating, they talked about that, but he wasn't accountable. It was like, oh, my friends couldn't be there to protect me.
That's what
so I had to cheat.
Yeah.
Whereas, some people have been saying when you get to that level, there's always like, the groupies and women, just so much. And you do have to put certain things in places to protect yourself. But that doesn't lessen your accountability for the cheating. It's just that those things weren't in place and you failed automatically. Yes. So that was his reasoning behind cheating. His wife was like, she was on there crying, saying it made him a better person. And I think she's a little bit slow. She seems young, but it just like, she doesn't give me ambitious and go-getter like him. Like, her only role is just to be his wife. And that's okay, but it's just like, and just her demeanor, you should watch it. It's like she's not a lot.
She's mentally slow?
Like, she doesn't, not like medically mental, like she's just like, maybe she don't process as fast or something, but she just like, I don't know. It's just something about her where, I don't know. It's just something.
I was asking Brandon about it when I was trying to come up with topics, and he said the things that stood out to him the most were him seeing his friends were not there. So he didn't feel like Kevin was being accountable for his actions. And he said, and he wanted me to ask, do you think she should have taken him back? Or I guess, would we take would I take Brandon back? Would you take your husband back? And I know, and before I was married, I was like, oh, heck no. What? He did what? Trash. Right. And now it's like, oh, like, I don't know.
The single me, no. The single me says no to the hell to the no. But I've heard people like you saying once you get in there within a marriage, it's different. But going in it, just from my experience, those are my deal breakers.
Oh, of course.
So cheating, any type of sexual abuse,
any type of abuse
in general. Yeah. Drugs to an extent. Those are my.
So he can kind of be a crackhead.
I mean, if we sent you to rehab, I'm gonna try to go through the rehab process with you. But if you did like 3 or 4 times and you still ain't getting together, I might be out. So yeah,
that's kind of how I feel. Like, we set the boundary, like that's a deal breaker. But then when it comes, is it really a deal breaker? Now, if he is a serial cheater, that's a problem.
Yes,
that's totally
now twice I'm out.
Yeah.
Now that like, one time,
I may try to work it out. I don't know if I have the strength, but I would definitely. I had to pray about that, and like, God, what you want me to do? Because that's really hard, and it's different when the cheat is private and no one else knew. Versus
it being public. Now you're embarrassed.
And is that has he done it more than once? Well, I don't know with her, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's so public. Allegedly, she's the side chick that broke up his first one. But he's been saying that they were separated, living in different houses already. But yeah.
So I don't know. I try not to be fast and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that." I used to, and now I'm like, "Dad, we have so much together. Our children. I mean, we did have a good marriage before this until that started happening. Like, can it be reconciled?" And I don't know. I know people survive these types of things and they, I guess, become stronger in a sense. But I think just the effort it takes to rebuild the trust is really hard, and it has to be something that both of them want, and not just, and then the man not saying, "Hey, I mean, I said I'm sorry, I'm doing good now. Why are you still mad?" Like giving the woman or the woman giving the man the opportunity to process. And it's a whole different conversation as we talk about men. If a woman cheated on you, would you say?
I don't think that they have the emotional level that is necessary because their egos are so fragile to do that. Because, like you said, it is a deal. It's for them. There's. I've heard very small cases or instances of men, and I'm trying to think one off the top of my head of public instances where men stayed with their women.
And maybe it would be we don't know because if it happened privately,
right.
He's not sharing that with nobody. You know what I mean? So maybe men are seeing when it's a private affair, but
because women, I think, are smarter, and they, it's harder for them
have our strength.
Right. So to catch us, it might take a lot of work. So it's not going to be out here in these streets.
Dang, I was going to ask something else about that, about cheating. God, I forgot. Okay, I don't remember.
If you think of it,
I'll come back to it. Yeah. Okay, so going on to our next topic, which is this is serious vulnerability, right? Oh. So, okay, it's a mixture of things because on Facebook, I have Instagram and Twitter. Twitter confuses me, so I don't use it. Instagram, I might look at something. Somebody DM'd me a long time ago. A friend. She was sending me something about taxes or something. I can't remember. Long time ago, and I don't know how I got into my DM. And I was like, what are these things?
Oh, Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram. Oh, is it called a DM on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so I think I swiped I touched something and I had messages. They were very old messages. I never knew.
Yeah, they hide those messages. I don't know
where did this stuff come from?
I don't know what the parameters are, but certain messages they hide. It's weird.
Oh.
Facebook does it too.
I'm like, I don't. No, it wasn't even a hidden message. If you just click on the little thing, the messages were there. I just never.
Yeah, they do hide some messages.
So on Instagram, but a lot of things I'm seeing on Facebook talks about getting rid of toxic people out of your life, and I can do all this by myself, and all of this. And I'm like, I feel like in this this whole universe of technology and social media and sharing, people don't share. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there are a lot of people who may have 5 million friends or 5,000 friends or whatever who post these things on Facebook, but people are really lonely. People are really hopeless. People are struggling, but no one ever knows. And I don't know if anybody ever feels like there's a safe space anymore to be vulnerable. And even when it is, because we want to keep appearances, we choose not to be vulnerable. And so it's like, how do we determine, or how do we find that person or that safe space, and even when it does exist, that we let our egos down to be vulnerable? Because I even find that hard sometimes with Brandon. I've been married to this man for 10 years, and I still don't like him to see me cry. Because that has always been a sign of weakness for me, to cry in front of other people. When my dad died, at the funeral, at the wake, I was sitting like this.
And where was I? On the floor.
Let me tell you about this story. My father passes. My dad was my best friend. My daddy was my everything. I used to say, Dad, if you die, I'm going to kill myself. Like, that's how much I love my father, right?
And I know this.
And my dad dies. Cherie comes to see about me, my dear friend. I love her to death.
Take it.
We were upstairs in the room. And I am, here's a tissue. It's okay. Like, I am consoling her. And then my friend Nobi.
Oh, Nobi!
Nobi, I hope you listening to this. At the funeral, it was either Nobi or Visha.
That was Nobi.
They got help too.
Because I was good going up. And Nobi was with me. I was going back up the aisle. I thought she was with me. I turned around and she was clapping.
I'm like, they're holding her, walking up to the casket. And in that little moment, I laughed inside. Like, these girls are crazy.
You can count on Nobi for a good laugh.
My daddy died. And they are sitting.
I can't. That's my Achilles heel.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I can't take stuff happening to her. I can't do it. So I just, that's just.
They were no help. Oh, going to funerals sad, marriage great. I'm crying at my wedding, and she's my maid of honor, of course. I asked her for the tissue because I'm crying at my wedding. She gave me this wet ball of makeup-filled, tear-filled napkins, and I looked at her like, "Are you serious right now?" No help. Emotional support, none.
I can't do it. If you fall apart, then I can't do it. See, but I feel like I would do better now because I'm older.
I guess so. I think so too.
Yes, I think I would do better.
What was I saying at the same? Oh, we were talking about vulnerability.
Oh, yeah.
So even as, like if something happens, or I'm scared, or I'm nervous, or worried about something, I can say to him, honey, I'm really nervous about this, or honey, I'm scared about this, but I don't want him to see me cry. And so I feel like I'm starting to do better with being okay with crying around him, but I'm like, why are you trying to hold it in?
I don't know. I think it's a superwoman complex because you have to beg her to let you. Yeah, she does not take help well. I be trying, and it's just like she wants to help everybody else, but try to help her. Oh my gosh,
that's bad.
So yeah, I think it's a superwoman complex. Where did it come from? I don't know.
I think it's just from being the oldest.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that.
When my parents, in 7th grade or 6th grade, we had pre-algebra or something. Miss Young, we had a pre-algebra class, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't help you no more."
Algebra takes him out every time.
And then from there, it's like, I don't know if it really started there, but just being the oldest child and helping with my siblings. And I don't feel like I had to raise my siblings. I did have to take care of their bad behinds during the summer. But I think being the oldest and being the oldest of a pastor, there were very high expectations for me. And I was going to make sure that I did not I didn't want to embarrass my parents. I did not want to mess up the name because I knew
because people
important that
already
was.
people are already talking and they always talking.
Like your kid's crazy, but we the same kind of kids. Yes, my dad's a pastor, but we still deal with the same kind of stuff. But we weren't given the flexibility. But my sister and brothers was like, whatever. Anyway, somebody else. But me is like,
yep.
Don't do this, don't do that.
Always walking on that tightrope, afraid to fall.
Yes.
So I can see that.
What about you? Vulnerability.
I don't like it. Everybody knows it. My therapist knows it. We've been trying to work through it, but he's in Raleigh now, and I'm here.
He does video.
I know.
I needed to.
I didn't struggle with it really until after my grandfather died, and because he was my provider, so anything that I went through, I knew that I had that catch-all. And so after he died, I was like, I don't want to ask nobody for nothing, because he always like preached that to me, like, you don't need no man for this, and you can do this for yourself. So yeah, I don't know. It just developed as the more, the older I become, I feel like the worse it's getting. Because even with the situation with me being laid off in September, like, now I got to live in your house. Like, even you, the person that I love the most, one of the people that I love the most.
No, the person. Other than your parents.
I do have a mother.
Other than your immediate family. Hi, Charnel and Tiffany.
I didn't feel comfortable asking for help, even with you, Tiffany, or Charnel, even though I know it's there, and I know that I don't even have to ask sometimes. I still don't like having to need anybody for nothing.
I'm with it.
So yeah, it's just something that I don't know. I don't know why, but it's just there. But the good thing is we know that it's there.
Yes.
So we're self-aware of it.
Yes.
And we have the emotional intelligence to say, hey, I struggle in this area. Let me readjust when this happens. So
I think it's even knowing that we struggle, because I struggle with it too. I like to be in the place where, like you said, I help people. But if I used to, long time ago, I used to be offended with somebody if I said, I'm going to pray for you. And it's like, I'll pray for you too. Excuse me?
You need your raggedy prayers?
Excuse me. Like, I'm good. All right? But no, I need all the prayers. Right now. But it was a point, like, I don't need nobody to do nothing, because my dad did the same thing. My dad was my provider. He was my best friend, everything. And he was like, your dad, what you need a boyfriend for? Your daddy's here. Because at that time, I'm not having sex with my daddy. And I'm definitely not, you better not be having no sex with no dudes. So what can they give you?
Nothing.
And he provided everything for us. So then I'm like, even growing up, INDEENDEENT, and I'm like, RND.
And I'm worried about that with her.
I was like, what?
How you spell it again? What type of man is going to be willing to put up with this? Because Brandon is stronger.
Brandon is amazing.
He is.
You said something nice. Y'all don't even. Be careful. Be careful. I've been fussing at them. So
he is a good man. He's a good man, and he's perfect for you.
Thank you.
So that gives me hope that, maybe God does still have the machine open for men to deal with as strong a type of personality as we have.
But I think it also has to be that the man has to show that that you can let your guard down, that he can help you. But because sometimes like, I don't need help. Now I'm like, Brandon, can you please help me? Because like, I'm struggling.
I know.
I am struggling. So I'm grateful for that.
That's with me. Even like in my mind, I want to date. But then when I think about dating, my spirit gets tired because of the thought of having to be vulnerable with someone. Like, I'm like,
but it's also good because someone knows you.
But I have to weed through to get to that.
Yes.
My spirit gets tired. I'm like,
forget it.
I ain't got time. So
I agree.
It's a balancing act.
It is. So our next topic. Oh, let me see what it is. So it's going back to. So hold on. Just one thing. just random. I was watching Steve Urkel because Brandon loves Family Matters.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Martin's number one, Family Matters is 1A. He's like, it's that good. But we watch Family Matters every single night on Hulu. And I was watching the show and I looked at Brandon and I was going to say Caleb. looked at Brandon and I said, Laura is toxic. Okay? Like, she did not appreciate Steve Urkel.
She did not.
He became Stefan for her. He was willing to transform himself. In the episode I saw, while he was Stefan, and then he started doing all of that. And she's like, what's happening? He's like, oh my gosh, I'm turning back into Steve. And she stumped out like, you are not enough. I do not like you. Like, she was a toxic person. Like, she was this, strong black girl. I liked all of that. But she was a horrible person. Then Steve cloned himself. So he's Steve Urkel and Stefan for her.
All that.
Something like that. That's what Brandon said. So now she's with Stefan. And she wants Steve, so now she's going to take Steve from Myra.
So did she end up with Steve Urkel?
Yes, you remember they had that fairy tale wedding?
I don't remember.
I watched it, but Brandy now? I'm getting confused. I thought they went to Disney World.
That might be true. I don't remember the end of Family Matters.
Laura, you were toxic.
I just do remember her treating Steve wrong.
And he would, the boys that she liked, he tried to make sure they treat her right. He stood up for her. And she was so mean. I mean, she was young, yes, whatever. But, okay, that's over. Anyway, the question is, if there was one thing in your past that could only positively impact your future, if there was one thing in your past that you could change and it would positively impact your future, what would it be? If there's just one thing that your whole entire life doesn't necessarily have to change, but that one thing you changed made a huge difference in who you are now. And it can't be like somebody's still alive. Like, I can't say my dad is still alive.
I would look more into full scholarships and not get student loans. I would look into more, especially the program that you did, where I did not have to get student loans. Because student loans is a beast on your back. And let me tell you, I did. The first 2 years of my undergrad was free. And then my junior year, I had to get a loan. So from my junior year, I went to law school out of state for a year.
Yep.
I have a master's degree, which part of that, like a semester was I think a semester was considered out of state, and the rest of it was in-state tuition. So a master's degree, and I have a graduate certificate as well. So,
it's like,
like the girl from the Proud family.
When that check come, they right there like.
So yes, I would have made better choices in terms of funding my education because I wouldn't be in the student loan debt that I'm currently in. So I think that would be mine. What about you?
I think when I think about just my past, I think one of the things, and I still struggle with this sometimes, self-image, that just being enough. You're pretty enough, you're smart enough, you're good enough. And I know in high school, I didn't have the long hair. I was not small at all. And you said you don't remember me being big or something like that.
I never saw you as big. I just knew you wasn't skinny. But when I think of big, I think of like big. What's her name? Big Liz. What was it? You don't remember? Well, it wasn't like somebody.
It wasn't like I was walking like that. Right. But as a teenager, I was big for a teenager. So, and like I said, I didn't have long hair. I wasn't light skinned. But I allowed what people thought of me, or how people, especially boys, how boys treated me, impacted me long term, because then now I'm always wondering, am I pretty enough? Am I small enough? And so I still kind of deal with that kind of stuff sometimes. So if I had to change anything, I would want to be much more confident in who I am, whether I was heavy or not heavy. And I like seeing the stuff that I see now where women are like, I'm okay where I am. I mean, be healthy. Yes, for sure. Like, don't have high cholesterol and be like, I'm slaying. No. A heart attack is about to slay.
Yes.
But like, just being confident in my skin. And so even, once again, vulnerability. I'm like, this man gonna have to see me naked. Does he not know what is about to happen? But to him, he's like, girl, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, do you see this and this and this and that? I remember I had when I was in maybe elementary or middle school, I had an accident running around the house and I broke my toe. One of my toes. So my toe, I'm being vulnerable, is kind of to the side like this. One of my little toes is like that to the side. It's not a whole big deal unless you staring, and y'all don't stare now when I wear sandals in the summer. You can't tell, but that was a big deal to me. So when Brandon used to come over to visit me, I always wore socks. And he asked me one day, why do you always have socks on? I'm like, who does that? Because people wear socks all the time. And I was like, don't worry about it. It's okay because I like to. And one day he made me take my socks off. And I cried.
Oh my gosh.
I cried because I'm like, he's really not going to like me now because my toe is sweating.
And then what happened? Nothing.
No, nothing happened.
I always say the day this woman realized how fine she is, cannot freaking wait.
Jesus,
like,
when I meet you in heaven, I see myself who I am.
Ever. Because she walks around, behaves like she's a 600-pound woman. Like, we are flipping. Like, in high school, I wasn't that big.
You weren't big at all in high school. You thought you were?
A little bit. But now looking back at pictures,
you were not.
Yeah, I was average size.
I wish.
But, you know, even as I gained more weight, I'm like, I still look like my mama. My mom is pretty. So even though I might be not a size 8 anymore, I'm still okay. Don't play with it. But this woman, she can. You guys know Queen and Slim. Somebody brought it up when we were looking for apartments.
I think I was slightly offended.
No, that girl from Queen and Slim. Everybody was saying how beautiful she was when she cut her hair. Like she just exuded so much of just like.
Is different than being pretty. So I think she's a pretty woman, but it still is different for me. I wasn't sure how to take that because when I first saw her pictures, I'm like, she looked tired.
No, because you didn't see. And Queen and Slim, she looked better than what she looks in her pictures, especially with her husband. But I when she like brought that to my attention, I was like, yeah. But and even somebody, where were we? I think we was in a mattress store, and the guy said she looked like reminded him of Issa Rae at that time. But yeah, I was like, the day that she knows,
I think I'm pretty. Sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, I can look a hot mess sometimes.
Everybody can look a hot mess sometimes.
Okay, so on the days I don't look a hot mess, I do think I look pretty.
I need it to be more days like that.
I need to stop looking a hot mess more. I'm trying.
Oh my gosh.
It ain't easy. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I think that was all of the stuff. I had like 8 topics on here, but we're not going to the rest of these topics.
Okay. We can save it for next time.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just making sure it was nothing else. So that was it for me. I did a good job.
You did. Very proud of you. All right, now we're gonna go to our one gotta go. So pause for a second. All right. So our one gotta go for this episode, it falls into the gospel singers category.
Okay.
So this person or group goes in everything associated with them. So film, whatever, music goes.
Okay.
So first person's Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, the Clark sisters. Okay. So one more time. Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, John P. Key, and the Clark sisters. Which one stays first for you?
Oh, stays first?
Like, this person ain't going nowhere.
Can it be a tie?
No! And here's the list in case you forget.
Okay, I'm going to say Fred Hammond stays first because, Fred Hammond will stay first because that's what I grew up on. And my dad loved Fred Hammond. Like, we would jam out in the house, like, that was our jamming out. We would jam out in the house to Fred Hammond and then Commission. I think it's the Pages of Life album. I love it. And so I would say Fred Hammond would be the one who stays.
Okay. First one for me that's staying is, what do you think I'm going to say?
John P. Key.
Yes! I grew up on John P. Key like you grew up with Fred Hammond, with my grandparents in that old white Lincoln. If you're from Elso and watching this, and remember. So yeah, even them playing it in the house, in the car. I remember Stan playing. And then when I got to undergrad, I went to his church. And so that was the first time that I was in a place and I felt the Holy Spirit moving around me. And I still to this day think he has the best worship service ever. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, second for you, that's staying.
The second that stays is because you never heard a preacher flow. No, let me tell you something. When you grow up in a holiness home, okay? That was rap music for us. Yep. Like, stomp?
Yeah. What? You know, people draws were hot. Like,
I don't even care.
Now talk about when his music came out, they were not happy. Oh, I know. Like, they were like, wow, how dare you make a mockery.
I think it's because of him that we have gospel rap and all of that other stuff.
Now we got Eric Campbell and people that's evolving from him. It all started. Some people say it started with John P. Key because he kind of like, but I would give that credit to Kirk Franklin.
That's, once again, growing up, we didn't listen to a lot of rap music or anything. So we were able like, stop. And so we were able to dance to that music. So Kirk Franklin.
Okay, so you are keeping Kirk Franklin. I'm keeping Kirk Franklin as well for a second. Because I do believe he is the father of what we consider new contemporary gospel music. So, all right. So now you got to decide between the Clark sisters and
John P. Key. So I'm going to keep John P. Key.
Okay. Our friendship was over. It's going to be hard.
I won't let him go. No. I like John P. Key. The crazy thing is, a lot of songs that I grew up on, I don't remember who sang them. And so I know, like, I think I attended the church with you once, church service with you. And I was like, I didn't even realize this was John P. Key. We were listening to Georgia Mass Choir, this other Mass Choir, then John P. Key, Hezekiah Walker. Like, everybody started whatever
together.
So I would say John P. Key.
Okay. So, bye, Clark sisters.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, for me, I had left Fred Hammond and Clark sisters and bye, Clark sisters because Fred Hammond is one of his songs, If the Lord Decided That I Should Be Married. One of his songs is going to be in my wedding. It was him, Cover Me. So when all the family is coming in at the beginning, that's what I want to play.
Oh, everybody going to be crying. You're going to have wet tissues.
Just have like the box so everybody could just have that
available. Down the aisle.
So yeah, I cannot get rid of Fred Hammond because then Will song I'm gonna be playing at my wedding. So the Clark sisters, I like one of their songs. Can you name more than one Clark sister? This is probably bad that we can.
I just don't remember listening to them when I was little. Not as possible. And I'm sure if I go through their songs, I'm like, yeah. But that was not one of the regular names I heard. And I know they were there. I just don't remember.
And I know they're like a force to be reckoned with. Like their voices are like, whoa. But for me, out of these four, they can go.
Why are we explaining like we scared of backlash? Fight me, okay? I know. I got bad knees. I don't fight me.
But I do. There's a movie coming out with them.
Cool.
And I think Kiki is going to be playing
that girl's
son. Yeah, like her. Is she playing her mom? Or I know she's in it. So I think it's going to be on Lifetime. Lifetime's been doing a bunch of black movies. You ain't been watching.
Cherie, you know I watch King of Queens or Steve Urkel every night, and I fall asleep on it.
What did they last to? Well, they've been doing the Surviving R. Kelly series, which I only watched the first one.
Yeah, me too.
And then what else did they did? They did Hopelessly in Love, but they talked about Lisa Left Eye and her husband when she burned that man's house down.
I remember that.
They did the Faith and Biggie one last night, which I just wasn't interested in because what else are you going to tell me about them? I feel like I knew, that's been overdone. Yeah. And they're doing something else, but they're having a lot of black shows on there. I feel like they're doing what BET should be doing in terms of quality production of black shows.
Oh, we need to talk about that later.
Like, what?
Black-owned stuff. Are we harder on each other as far as quality, like if a white man did it or an Asian man did it, would we give them more leniency than we would black people? So
okay. We can save that. Just
that'd
save
be
all
another
your
one.
topics for next. Well, we might have to do that. Say that for March because if we can get Brandon
for
in
February.
Yeah, we can have the love episode for Valentine's Day since it's February, and have Brandon on here, who's her husband.
Mhm.
But because I'm a part of it, he acts kind of hesitant, because there was a
Like,
past,
set me up.
we kind of was at war.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can bribe him to show
I
up
think he could.
by February. So, but anyway, that has been another episode of Nee and Ree. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave all of your positivity down in the comments below. And we will see you guys next month.